Dobry I hope you guys are doing absolutely fantastic today. I'm Mysticle, and Blade and Sorcery have very kindly sponsored this video for me to tell you about their 1.0 update. Yes, it's finally out of early access, and a ton of new features have come with this release. So without any further ado, let's move on to what I believe is the coolest part of this update, the AI improvements. Warpfrog has seriously gone under the hood here. In case you have played Blade and Sorcery at all, you'll know that the AI has been very wonky and not the smartest until now. And this isn't just a surface level upgrade. Warpfrog has gone and fixed what they like to call their spaghetti code. Over the years, as more and more features got added, the code got tangled up. And this is one of the major things that broke the AI. That's why, if you played earlier versions like the U11 release, you would have seen that the AI is not as sharp as it is in 1.0. So, what's new? First of all, 1v1 combat is back to being actually responsive. The AI will now actively engage you, using different techniques to block your attacks and counter them. Gone are the days where they just randomly stood around waiting to be attacked. The AI can now also chain attacks again. As well as that, Warpfrog has also fixed animation bugs, where for example, the stab animation wouldn't always get triggered properly. One of the biggest improvements though, is to something that the community likes to call face hugging, where the enemy would get incredibly close to you and, well, essentially hug your face. This would also cause the enemy to practically glitch into your avatar. Now enemies will actually respect your personal space. This is still, however, an issue with smaller weapons, as with those, enemies can still get a little bit too close. But that's more a limitation of the weapon design rather than the AI itself. Another cool feature of the AI now is how different fractions fight. Higher tier enemies from fractions like the Iradan or the Eye are much better fighters compared to fractions of lower tiers. So in case you're up for a larger challenge, you can now go face to face with higher tier enemies. They've also improved how AI handles longswords. You see, the thing is, these weapons were never meant to be used one-handed, and they felt janky. To fix this, they tweaked animation speeds, actually making them slower. This helps with the physics and makes combat feel a lot smoother. Shield users got some love as well. Previously, using shields was an AI nightmare, but now enemies use their shields more effectively for parrying and chaining attacks. They can now even combine shield bashes with different weapon attacks, adding another layer of strategy to the combat. Finally, Warpfrog has improved death animations. Now, if you ask me, I was actually a big fan of the death animations, as I thought it was incredibly funny how they glitched out. Now, Warpfrog isn't removing everything I loved about the death animations. They're actually keeping the ragdoll physics in as well. So now it's going to be a mix of animation and ragdoll, so when you land that final blow, it feels like a true finisher. But of course, that's not all. They have also completely overhauled the graphics. Lighting and textures have been greatly upgraded. When in the dungeons, you should instantly notice that everything feels, once again, just that little bit more natural, casting realistic shadows that make the environments feel a lot more immersive. However, the biggest change here is definitely the ocean. In case you've played previous versions, you'll know that the ocean was just a bland texture, but now Warpfrog has actually gone and made their own custom ocean solution. That's not a sentence I thought I'd ever say. This wasn't just a cosmetic upgrade, it was a massive technical challenge. Oceans in VR are notoriously tricky because of how reflections, waves, and light interact in real time. And what's most important here is the fact that Warpfrog has actually managed to create a VR ocean that keeps the performance in check. You've got realistic waves, water reflections, and a dynamic look that doesn't absolutely crush your Quest's performance. Pretty impressive considering hardware limitations. And that wasn't the only performance-minded update. Warpfrog made sure to optimize the entire game specifically for the Quest 2 as well. That means they adjusted textures, lighting effects, and even particle physics to make the game as visually stunning as possible without sacrificing your frame rate. It's one of those behind-the-scene changes that you might not notice straight away, however, it improves the game by quite a bit. And it's nice to see Warpfrog still looking out for Quest 2 users, even when having the Quest 3 and the Quest 3S already out. Also worth noting is all the other updates made to shadows and ambient lighting, just the way the light reflects on your sword, and how shadows move a lot more naturally. And while all these things might seem minor when pulled apart, when you put them all together and bake a little Blade and Sorcery cake that was a terrible joke, you seriously get a massive overhaul that is instantly noticeable when you jump into the game. But of course, that's just graphics and AI. There's a whole ton more to this update, so why don't we move right on to that. Now, how could we call this build complete without a brand new enemy? Meet Hekalis, or how the community likes to call him, Hector. As you can probably tell, he's a golem, and the best part about him, the way you fight him is entirely up to you. You can even climb up on top of him. This is what VR freedom is about, not necessarily something that would feel the same in 2D. The game, however, gets even more exciting. Skill trees are now a thing. There are 5 skill trees to choose from, but a total of 78 skills. So, in case you're just hopping in, you get to choose from fire, gravity, lightning, body, and mind. You could go all in on one branch, becoming an absolute fire badass, or mix and match whichever ones you like. Ever wanted to slow down time, levitate enemies, and then zap them with lightning? Yeah, you can do all that here now.
And of course, it's impossible for me to talk about this update without mentioning the Dalgarian Dungeon biome. This is of course the brand new dungeon biome added by Warp Frog. I think it is absolutely beautiful. The lighting and graphics here seriously make it all come together. You will have a ton to explore here, and the sheer scale of this biome is absolutely crazy. This is also where Hector resides.
Alright, let's talk loot. Crystal Hunt. Treasure chests aren't just for show anymore. Coins, valuables, and crystal shards are now awaiting you inside those treasure chests. But what's loot for if you can't spend it anywhere? That's right, Warp Frog has introduced a brand new shop to the game. And not only can you actually buy stuff in this shop, you can also sell. That, and the shopkeeper actually talks here. And talking about things you might want to buy, there's a whole ton of it, as there's a whole 76 weapons and 90 pieces of armor in this update. You can build the ultimate loadout, whether you're a heavy-hitting knight in full armor or a spell-slinging mage in light gear. And unlike other games, weapons don't just deal damage because they're higher tier. Each weapon actually has unique traits, like longer reach or better armor penetration, and it's up to you to choose which one best suits your playstyle. There's even more good news, as the Citadel map has finally been ported over to Quest, and it's just about as epic as you remember it from PC. Plus, the Ruins map actually got a complete makeover. Warp Frog went back to the drawing board and remade it from scratch, keeping the same verticality and moodiness, but making it look and feel a lot more cohesive. It honestly kind of feels like a brand new map. Well, that's kind of because it is. But in case for whatever reason you didn't think this was enough and the game didn't already feel whole, they have a new status effect system. For example, enemies that you throw fire at now will catch on fire, not just take damage. The same goes for other elementals as well, like lightning or gravity. This seriously makes the whole thing feel a lot more natural and complete, as the enemies just kind of taking damage without being set on fire by fire was kind of weird and felt unfinished. But here now we get the whole thing. There you guys go, the brand new Blade and Sorcery 1.0 update. This is one that we have been waiting for a very, very long time, and I know Warp Frog has been as well. There's a lot of things that went into making this happen, and I, for one, think it was worth it. While this update is called the End Update, this isn't actually the be-all and end-all of updates. There will be more to come, however, this is the big one. This is the 1.0 full release, out of early access, and they did not disappoint. They have added so much to this one and made the game finally feel complete. So much love, Warp Frog. When I found out that I can get sponsored to make a video like this, I was like, hell yeah, please do. I love this game. This is one that I've been playing for a very, very long time before Nomad even came out for Quest, and I know a whole lot of you in the comments section love this one as well. I hope you guys like the scenery. I decided, you know what, let's test out the new mics, and while we're at it, let's record in a spot that, I don't know, might feel a bit more rustic or something like that. This is actually my aunt's back garden. Either way though, that's going to be it for today's video. Thank you all so much for joining me. I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day or night. If you guys like this one, please give me a like. If you disliked it, I guess this one works too, but let me know why down below. If you're not yet part of the community, check out the Discord and or Reddit down below where I want to see you posting your spicy memes. And thank you so much to all the Patrons supporting this channel. You guys are amazing. Seriously, much love. You are what makes this possible. And as usual, if you want me to notify of content coming up on the channel, make sure to smack that subscribe button with you forward, ding my bell, and see you again in the next video. Peace. I'm so sorry for the background noise. There is construction going on, of course. I started recording before there was construction, but now there's construction.
Co się śmiejesz? Co się śmiejesz? Teraz jakoś stąd muszę zejść. Tylko jakbym miał spaść, to nagraj, nie? Widać to? Widać to? Ta? O.